The farther east the wanderer traveled, the wilder the land became. Mountains rose like ancient guardians. Great rivers wound their way between towering trees. Morning mist hung low above an endless rainforest. In that place, the forest was older than human memory, older than kingdoms, older than the stories passed from one generation to the next. And deep within that vast wilderness lived a man named Raksa. Raksa was known as the finest woodcutter. His axe was razor. His arms were powerful. No tree was too large for him. No trunk was too hard to fell. Every day, the sound of his axe echoed through the forest. Like the steady heartbeat of time itself, never ceasing. People admired him. His work was extraordinary. Homes were built from the timber he cut. Boats were crafted from the trees that fell beneath his hands. Paths through the wilderness were opened by the swing of his axe. Everyone respected him. Yet no one knew what lay within his heart. Raksa was never satisfied. When he had cut down 100 trees, he wanted 1,000. When he received praise, he craved even more. When he became the best, he feared that someone else would surpass him. His life was filled with achievements. Yet the greater his accomplishments became, the heavier the burden he carried. One morning, the wanderer arrived at the edge of the forest. He heard the sound of an axe in the distance. He followed the sound until he found Raksa fell in a massive tree. Sweat soaked his body. His breathing was heavy. Yet his eyes never seemed to rest, as though he were forever chasing something that remained just beyond his reach. One night, a heavy rain poured down. Lightning split the sky. The wind shook the towering trees, and a giant tree, weakened by the passing years, finally fell. Not because of an axe, not because of man, but because its time had simply come. The next morning, Raksa found the great tree lying upon the forest floor. Its mighty trunk now lay silent. Its roots had been torn from the earth. It did not move. It did not resist. It did not struggle to remain standing. The wanderer stood beside it. "Do you see this tree?" Raksa nodded. What do you think made it so great? Its roots, of course, Raksa replied. That's right. The wanderer looked at him. And yet, all this time, you've been too busy admiring the trunk. Raksa frowned. The wanderer continued. People often spend their entire lives making bigger what can be seen. Their name. Their achievements. He did not justify it. He simply observed. And slowly, something began to change. He realized that for all those years, he had not been cutting down the forest. He had been cutting down the peace within himself, with an ambition that could never be fulfilled, with desires that could never be satisfied, with a race that had never possessed a finish line. Their power, the praise they receive, the recognition they seek. And in doing so, they forget to care for their roots. The roots? Honesty, awareness, sincerity, contentment, and the courage to truly know oneself. Raksa fell silent. For deep within his heart, he knew. It had been a long time since he had cared for those roots. He had only kept making the trunk grow larger. Day after day, he began to observe himself. Whenever envy arose, he simply noticed it. Whenever pride appeared, he noticed it. Whenever fear emerged, he noticed. He did not fight it. One evening, as the sun slowly descended behind the forest canopy, Raksa sat upon the trunk of a fallen tree. For the first time in his life, without an axe in his hand, without a goal, without a race to win, he simply sat. And strangely, he felt stronger than ever before. As the wanderer prepared to continue his journey, Raksa asked, what is it that you're truly searching for that keeps you walking? The wanderer gazed across the vast forest. Then he answered, I am searching for people who are willing to stop for a moment. What for? To listen. Listen to what? The wanderer smiled. To hear the voice that has always been there, long before the world became too noisy. Raksa looked out into the forest. And for the first time, he heard something. Not the songs of birds, not the whisper of the wind, not the murmur of the river, but the silence that had long been buried beneath the noise of his own desires. That night, The wanderer resumed his journey, leaving behind the ancient, shadowed forest. Behind him, the forest remained standing. Yet another forest had begun to grow once more. The forest that had lain barren for so many years within the heart of a man